Rain beat down in angry sheets over the quiet suburb of Clearwater Ridge, but the storm inside Officer Jenna Morales' heart roared louder. She tightened her grip on the leash, her knuckles white, as her K-9 partner Rex, the department's youngest but most promising German Shepherd, stood alert beside her. It was supposed to be her little brother's birthday. She should have been icing cupcakes or wrapping that signed baseball jersey he'd been dreaming about. Instead, she was out chasing shadows, and something about tonight didn't feel right. Earlier that morning, a call had come in about strange activity at an abandoned warehouse near the industrial edge of town. Normally, it wouldn't have raised any alarms, but when the anonymous tip included whispers about a ticking clock and children, Jenna's instincts fired red. Something dark was hiding in plain sight. Rex yanked suddenly at the leash, his muscles taut and nose to the ground. Jenna followed without hesitation, her flashlight slicing through the gloom. They'd trained for this, for bombs, for danger, for the unthinkable, but tonight felt more personal. Too close. Inside the warehouse, the air was thick with mildew and secrets. Rex growled low in his throat and took off. Jenna ran after him, heart pounding, voice steady as she called commands. In a dusty corner behind rotting crates, Rex barked sharply and clawed at the ground. That's when Jenna saw it. A duffel bag, ticking. Her breath caught. She radioed for the bomb squad but kept her eyes locked on the bag. Rex stood between her and it, tail rigid, as if daring the danger to touch his human. Seconds stretched. Heartbeats became war drums. When the squad arrived, they confirmed her fear. A pressure bomb, homemade and powerful enough to flatten a city block. And worse, evidence nearby, child-sized backpacks, birthday decorations, and a discarded invitation, suggested this wasn't a random act. Someone had planned to bomb a child's birthday party. Jenna's stomach twisted as she pieced it together. The party was her brother's. The location, a public park not far from here, filled with kids and families. It hadn't been targeted at random. It was a trap, and they were all part of it. With no time to waste, Jenna jumped back into her cruiser, Rex beside her, barking as if he too knew what was at stake. She called ahead to her precinct, warning them to clear the park and secure the perimeter. But it was Saturday afternoon. The place would be packed. As she sped through red lights and empty intersections, her thoughts spiraled. Who would do this? And why? The answers came too fast and too painful. Months ago, she'd helped arrest a man named Thomas Keller, a disgraced explosives expert who had planned to attack a courthouse. Jenna had sniffed him out, literally, with Rex's help. But no one knew Keller had escaped prison 2 weeks ago. The threat had seemed distant. Now it was aimed at her family. When she arrived at the park, chaos had already erupted. Parents were screaming, grabbing children, running from the bouncy castle and food stands. Officers swarmed the area, but it was Rex who led the charge again, breaking from her side and racing to a picnic table near the playground. He froze, then barked, one long, desperate sound. Underneath the table, partially buried in the grass, was a second device. And beside it, a small gift bag with Jenna's brother's name on it. Jenna's vision blurred. It wasn't just a bomb. It was personal. She called for the bomb squad again, helping evacuate the area. Rex stayed back, growling low, alerting them to any further threats. He didn't budge until the danger was gone. That night, when it was finally over, Jenna sat on the back steps of her parents' home, her uniform streaked with mud and sweat. Rex leaned against her, nuzzling her arm, his ears flicking gently at her touch. Her little brother came out, still wearing his party hat, eyes wide and teary. "You saved us," he whispered, burying his face into her chest. "You and Rex." She held him tight, overcome with everything she'd almost lost. Days later, the truth unraveled. Keller had targeted her out of revenge, planning to detonate the bombs during the party and frame someone else. Without Rex's instincts, the tragedy would have made headlines for all the wrong reasons. Instead, the story that spread was about a K-9 hero and a brave officer who refused to ignore their instincts. Who ran toward danger. Who saved dozens of lives. The town honored Rex with a medal, his first. But Jenna knew he didn't need recognition. He just needed his partner. And she needed him. A week later, Jenna gave her brother his real birthday gift. The jersey, signed and sealed. But inside the wrapping, she tucked something extra, a picture of Rex, tongue lolling, eyes bright, wearing his medal. Because sometimes the best gifts aren't toys or jerseys. Sometimes, they're the loyal ones who stand between us and the darkness. And sometimes, They come on 4 legs, with a bark that saves the world.